Welcome to Learning Partner. So this is just a small mini project idea. Again, it's a student registration form. So in coming days, let's say on 13th of October, I'm going to have a database session for some college student, right? And for YouTube subscriber also. So for that, I need to create a registration form so that whoever the people are interested, they are going to register, and so that I can share the Zoom details and everything to them, right? So for that, I need a registration form. So for that, I was going to create the registration form, and I was going to host it, but rather than doing that, I'm doing it in a video also. So two purpose will be there. So three parts will be there. I will be creating table, database table, then API I will write, just two API we are going to need, and the Angular project, right? And we will host that on the GitHub. So let's start. So if you can see, this is just a template I have searched in the Google only. Simply what I have searched, student registration form in Bootstrap, and in MD Bootstrap, I have got this proper form. So consider like I'm going to, the data which I'm going to need from students or the subscriber is like their basic name, right? Details. So like that, we are going to create a table. So this is just my database, right click new table. I won't be going into details like everything else, but just because this video is focused on the, wait, what it is saying. Let me just open. Yeah, right. So first table I'm going to create is for just, we are just going to need one table, that is registration form, right? So yes, registration ID, data type will be int, it will be not nullable. We need to make it primary key and identity also. So just we have did that. Then name varchar, instead of 50, let's make it 100. This will be mandatory. Then mobile number, again it will be varchar, but length will be 10 only, because max 10 digit we will allow. Email ID or LinkedIn. This will be optional. LinkedIn profile URL. So let's say subscriber I'm going to get are nothing but developers, right? So if I want to connect to them, I will ask the LinkedIn profile also. LinkedIn profile URL. That will be varchar. Again, it will be string only. So let's make it 150. Right. One more thing I'm going to need is, are you working? Like if we are going to get registration from students also, or from working professional also. Just a flag, or you working or is working, whatever. The column name I'm keeping, and it will have bit, means boolean, true or the false value, right? Then if he is not working, he is a student. So I will ask college name, whatever they can fill, city, right? So registration ID will be primary key, name, mobile number, email ID, LinkedIn profile URL, is working, college name, city. That's it. So you can see, oh, gender we can again take gender, varchar. What else we can? Yeah, that's it. So basic things we are done. So let's save this table. So this will be, I'm giving name as webinar registration. Okay. So the table I have created. Now I need to write the API in the, I have already an existing project, API project, which is with .NET Core. So I will be just writing the API in that. Right. So you can see table is created over here. Now let's jump to my API side. So this is just an existing project. So The table name I have to provide. So this is going to be my table name. Let's rename it, get the table name, paste it over here above the table name. So what are the fields we have in the that particular table, that same properties we need to create in the particular class, right? So I have given the class name like webinar registration class I had already created. Just I'm adding new fields now. Let's open this in a design mode. So we can just copy paste the column name. So first is registration ID. So this will go over here. Registration ID is nothing but primary key. So that's why we have added this. Then it is identity, means database generated. So that's why this is the extra attribute we have. Then let's copy paste remaining thing. Name. Let me just pause it and I will do the thing. So all the properties I have created, then we have some validations also. So in the name will be required. So we can add required attribute over here. Then mobile number is also required. Plus we have min length that will be 10 digit, right? And max length also that will be again 10 digit, right? So this kind of validation we normally apply on the server side also. That's it. So these are nothing but mandatory field. So model is created. Now we need to add this model as a DB set to our DB context class. So this is nothing but my DB context class. So I will just copy paste it. Class will go over here. I need to create object with this. That's it. So I have created the class representing my particular table, and that I have registered into my DB context class. Next thing is I have already created one controller, that is web API, webinar controller. Now in this controller, I'm going to write the actual API. So let me just copy the basic things which we are going to need. Allow region and everything we are going to need. And controller will be web API, webinar, right? For enable course, we are going to need one API. So why it is not, yeah, it's suggesting. After that, we are going to create a constructor and creating object of DB context. So let's me do that. Controller and the job context, DB context we are going to need. So this will be job context. We need the namespace of it. Right? That's it. So the basic thing is done. Now we need to create first API that will be post API to insert the data into that particular table. So for that, let me just copy. Where is post API? Yeah, so this I'm just going to copy, paste it over here. Now the API name will be create registration. So this will be means my actual API name will be API/webinar/create registration, right? API method is HTTP post. I need the model. Now the model I will be getting, means object I will be getting for with this API will be registration model only. So that is nothing but this model. So this will be going over here as an input, right? So validation check is there. Then I need to check like if mobile number is already there, because anyone can register twice or thrice, but we should restrict that, right? So for that, I'm just webinar registration. I'm just trying to find like if mobile number is already exist, I won't allow it, right? So for that, mobile number, I'm just writing a query from this particular table. See if the mobile number, whatever we have got, is already present or not. So this is nothing but that query. Why object? Okay, something else I have copy pasted. This should be my model, right? So object dot mobile number. That's it. So if I get this as a null, means I don't have a record matching for this mobile number in my particular table. So then I just have to store this. So, right. So that's it. This is just a one line that these are the two lines which are responsible to store the data into the particular table. If this is success, I'm going to send the message like record added success. If else, I'm going to say like mobile number already present. So this is an else statement for this if, right? So I will say like mobile number already present. So this is my save API. Another API I'm going to need is get API. So let me just copy that also. So after this, it will be get all registration. We are not going to need the parameter. So let's put it like that. What is missing? Bracket is missing, right? So get all registration API there. What we need to do, we need to get all the data we have from the webinar registration. That's it. So dot to list. That's it. So this is my API to get all the data from the table and we have to return it. So this is just a simple query, link it to SQL query, which will get us all the data we have in that particular table, right? And I'm going to return that in a particular object in the data property. No record found. If we don't get any record or some error is there, okay, sorry, we don't need this null like check. We can simply return the data because if we don't get the data, by default, 0 will be there. Length 0 will be there. So that's it, right? So just two APIs we were needed, right? So first was the create registration and second was get all registration. So two API are done. Now next thing is we have to create the Angular project. So I have git clone one particular folder. So that is web registration app. Here I have to create a project. So cmd command prompt I'm opening ng new. Let me just copy the folder name. Right, this I have to paste it over here. So web registration app, this is just a project name I'm giving. So now it will ask like, do you need a routing file or not? So we just have to say yes and everything. Wait. One more time. Let me do it because I entered and it accepted no. Yes, CSS. That's it. So project is created. Let me just stop it because inside this again folder will be there. So let me just Control X and put it into the parent folder. That's it. Let's delete it. So now in the parent folder, we have our actual projects. So now we can do the npm install. So again, open the CMD and do npm I install. That's it. So now it will install all the packages we are going to need for this Angular project, right? So now let's start the Angular work. So npm install is done. So you can see the node module folder over here. Now let's open the particular folder in our Visual Studio Code. So let me just copy the folder URL. We just have to open the folder. So right click, open folder. The path we have just copy pasted and select folder. Right. So now just two components we are going to need. First is for the registration and second is for the to get the list, right? So in component, I'm just going to create a pages folder and here I will create first component ng generate component registration component I am creating. Then second component will be to show the list, right? So just two component of project will be there. Very easy. So ng generate component, then list, let's say all list. This is going to be my second component. We don't need login and everything, right? So 2 pages we have created. Then we have to create the route also. So in app routing model.ts, first path :empty, then re registration. This will be my URL. Then component, like which component we have to open on this particular route. So that also we need to specify. It will take some time to IntelliSense all the things. So my component name will be registration. So let's go over here. Let's copy this and paste it over here. Now it will ask for the imports. Let's add that. So this is my first common, then second list, and our second component, that is all list. So this will go over here. We need the import for that also. So let's just add that. One empty route I will add if we don't have anything in the URL. So where it should navigate. So it will navigate to, this is just a star. I mean wildcard route, redirect to, and again we will redirect to registration only. If we don't have anything in the URL, we will redirect to registration, right? Then path match full strategy we are going to need. That's it, right? So 3 routes we have created. Now for the time being, I'm not going to install the bootstraps, but I will add the bootstrap link over here. So let me just Google the bootstrap 5w3. I just need the bootstrap URL, CDN URL. Write yourself. This is just a URL, copy, and I will paste it over here, right? So routes are created. Now the first thing is in app component, we just need a router outlet. Right? Because in app component, we are not going to have anything. So now let's open a new terminal and let's try to run the application. NGS. Now, so we have seen the HTML page, right? So we have the code also here over here. So I will just copy whole code and paste it in the registration component HTML. So let's try that. File, save all. So once it run, we should be able to see the registration component because we have created a while route, and if we don't have anything in the URL, it should redirect to registration. So by default, we should see the registration page. Just the image won't be there. Let's add the image also. Do we have image? Yeah, image is online only. You can see, so we don't need to download it and put it into the asset folder. So let me just delete this, let it compile. So by now, API I have hosted. So let me just show you that in free mini project API.com. So you can see the API which I have created. I have just deployed that. So that will be under webinar. So you can see create registration and get all registration. 2 API we have created. So that API you can see over here. Now, yeah, so it is running now. So let's see localhost 4200. Why the default page is not there? Something is not right. Let me just check. Let's try putting registration. Okay, so registration page is there. Now we don't need this much form. So let's just reduce some things. A black page is there. Let me just see. Let's just remove that from the parent class. BG dark. Instead of P5, let's make it P1. Let's see how does it look now. Right. So we don't need so many space below this. So let's try to remove that. Okay, in the form label, we have that. So let's just copy that class, put it over here. Instead of 0.5 rem, let's make it 0 and not important. So let's see if we get rid of the space. Tail form where form outline. Okay, so form outline doesn't have any space. Okay, so in everywhere we have MB4 class. So let's search MB4. Right, we have at the tail places, and let's replace that with MB1 so that we will have less space. Let's see how does it look now. Yeah, so now it looks little bit proper. Now I just need to give the title like this particular form. I'm going to host it for to get the registration for database session. Database webinar 13th October. Registration. Right, so this is just a title I'm giving to my particular page. Let's just, instead of h3, let's make it h4 so that it will come in one line. Yeah, right. So database webinar 30, just the title I have given. Now what things we have in the API, right? So if we see, this is just my object, so I just have to copy this now and create an object for the same. So here registration obj :any, whatever the fields I have got, that I'm going to paste it over here. Let me just format. Right, so whatever the object was there, that I have copy pasted. Now I'm going to make the API call. So before making API call, I need to import HTTP forms module and forms module and the HTTP client. So forms module we are going to need because ng model we are going to bind. Then we are going to need HTTP client module. So instead of HTTP common / HTTP, right? And here we can say HTTP client module. And this also we need to add in the import section. Without this, we cannot make the API call. So two imports, forms module and the HTTP client module, that we have done. That's it. Then in the component itself, so we have created an object, right? So now we need to bind this object to our form. So let's bind that. So now things we are going to need is just not, we don't have first name and last name, just the last name is full name is there, right? So this will be full name, and here we need to bind ng model. So square bracket, round bracket, ng model is equal to double quotes object dot. Now just to save the time, because in every input field this is going to be common, right? So I can copy this and just I will paste it. Then I will just change the properties name. Right, gender also I'm going to need. What else we are going to need? So pin code also. Right, so what number of properties we have? So name, so let's bind from the top. So this will be name. Then mobile number, so instead of last name it will be mobile number. Now we need to add min length, that will be 10. Max length, it will be again 10, right? The property I will be adding is mobile number, so this will go over here. We will add the validation also. Just let me just complete the binding. Then what do we have is email ID. So email ID will go over here. Right, then what do we have? LinkedIn profile URL. So this also we can put it over here. Let's change the label. Right, what next is there is working. So this is just a checkbox, right? So for that, instead of text, it will be checkbox. We will see the UI afterward. Let's just complete the binding first. Are you working? Right? Then college name. If this checkbox is false, then only we have to show the college name. So this is for gender, then it will be college name over here. I will just show that afterward. Just let me complete the binding. Then we have gender. So let me just copy this gender, paste it over here, and same thing on the other also. Value will be female. And this will be male. For both the radio button, we just need to add a same name property so that it will be grouped. Okay. Then college name is done. What else is remaining? Just the city. So that will go over here. The last item. Submit button should be there. ng model, we have to add it over here. So this city will go over here. So let's save and check if we get the proper UI. Okay, so registration object does not save because we haven't saved .ts. So now it should work. So you can see it is working properly. String is coming because we had that in the object. So let me just remove that. By default is working, should be false. So I'm making it false so that checkbox will be unchecked, right? So name, mobile number, email ID, LinkedIn profile URL, are you working or not, female and male. You can see these are as group now. So either of I can select. Then college name, city, and submit all form and reset, right? So that's it. So now we just need to add the basic validation. So let me just format it. Now we will add the validation. So validation will be like this name and the mobile number. These only are required. So right, for that I'm creating a template property with name is equal to, I have to store ng model inside. So ng model after the label, where should we display the validation? Or let's just after full name, I will just show the validation. So after full name, I will show the validation in span over here star ng if. Now what will be the validation like name? Now we need to add the validation rules first. So this will be required, right? Just only validation like required. So hash name dot touch first property like if it is touch or not, and name dot errors square bracket single quotes required, right? If a user has touched this particular text box, that is the check, then we have required property like required only I will show. So let's see if validation is coming. If currently it is not coming, but if I touch that and click away, still it is not coming. Why? Name dot touch and name dot errors dot required. Okay, spelling mistake is wrong. Required. And we just need to add a class that will be danger text danger. So let's save and check. Yeah, so you can see the required is coming, but if I pass anything, that error is going away. And before this, again, we will add one span, add star, so that we can inform user like this is an required field. So only two fields are required, that is mobile number and the name. So let's just add that. So let's see if we get the star and everything. Yeah, so you can see in the mobile number, and here I'm going to get the star after mobile number. So this will be after this, right? So mobile number validation, name validation is done. After that, we need to add the validation for mobile number also. Star mobile is equal to, we are going to store ng model, and here we are going to need two span, first for the required and second for the minimum length, right? So name, instead of name, now it will be mobile numbers. Let me just copy, paste, required, and one more span to show the message to for min length. So min length, minimum 10 characters. Let's save and check if with both the validation are working fine. Compiled properly. Why mobile number is not coming? Let's me check. So hash name, mobile dot touch, mobile dot errors dot required, and the min length. What is wrong we are doing here? Let's see if we have any console error. Nothing. So we have created a template property that is mobile. We have stored ng model inside it, right? Okay, required we haven't written. That's why the first, let's say, now it should come, right? So required is coming. If we type, then it is saying, so double line. Let's make it input type number only, so that user will type number only. That's it. So two validation was there. So first name and the, full name and the mobile number. So that's it. Now on click of save button, or let's, instead of submit, let's say it register, right? On click of register, we need to create an, we need to make an API call. So click event, we need to write on register. This is the function I'm going to create. So this function I have to create in .ts, right? So now I need to make the API call. So to make the API call, we need to create a service object of HTTP client. So private HTTP colon HTTP client, right? After that, I'm not going to create service. So just from component only, I'm going to call the API call. So post API call is there. For post API, we need normally two parameter, URL and the object. So object is nothing but this dot register object, and the URL we need to get it from Swagger. So let me just try it out, execute. So this is my URL. So you can see registration added successfully is coming message. So this URL will go over here, dot subscribe. Right? Then from API, we are going to get an object. So let me just show you that. So you can see we in return, we are going to get object with three properties, data, result, and true. If we get the result as true, then we can say like registration is successful. So alert success, right? Else we need to show the error. So alert, whatever the message we get from the API that we need to send. So in message property, we are going to get the message. So that's it, right? So you can see in the message property, we will get, currently it is saved successfully. So we are going to get this message, but let's try it again. Now this particular mobile, so see, result is coming false and the message we are getting. So that's it. So let's save and check it. Let's try Chetan. 8698. Let's try dummy number so that YouTube won't remove it. Right? So just a dummy, or let's 11221111222233. Right? And then email ID demo@gmail.com. LinkedIn profile something www. Just a dummy data I'm entering is working true. Mail, college name, city. Now, once I click on the register, we will get to see one API call over here in the network tab. I have clicked on fetch XHR. So if I click on register, yes, so you can see one API call is there, and we have seen the successfully message that registration is successful. Right now, if you see in the response, we have got this, right? But if I again try to click the register with the same mobile number, now I will get the error. See, mobile number already present because this mobile number is already there. But let's change the mobile number. Now click on register. You can see registration is successful. The spelling mistake is there. Let's just change that. Successful. Okay. So first part is done. Then in the second component, we need to show whatever the data we have, whatever the registration we have got in this particular component. So in this component, what we are going to do again, we are going to make the API call. So constructor, we need to create the object. So private HTTP client, right? We need to create a method get all registration. And from this function, we are going to make an API call. So that will be get API call. So HTTP get round bracket. Normally for get API call, we don't need to send the object, right? So just the URL. So let's see the get URL. Get all registration, try it out, execute. So this is my URL. So I will copy this and I have to paste it over here. Then we need to subscribe whatever the result we are going to get. We need to cache that. So any right. So whatever the response we have got, that we need to store it somewhere. So we need to create an array variable list colon any square bracket is equal to empty. Right. So we have created a variable, and now whatever the response we get, that we are going to get into this dot list dot res dot data. So the API response is common. So whatever the data we get in the object, data property will be there that we are going to get. Now we need to call this on the page load. So let's implement on init. So on init we need to add, then we have to implement ng on init. After constructor, let's implement on init, and on the page load ng on init will get triggered, and we will call this. So this dot right. So on the page load, this API call will be there, and whatever the data we get, that we are going to store over here. Now I just need to create a table and I will show the data. So row called 12 table I have to create. Table I will just add class, that is class table hyphen bordered. Inside that t head er th serial number first th name I will show. Mobile number is working. That's it. So let's show the city also, so that we will have proper data. So 5 columns we are going to have. After t head, we need t body, and in t body again tr, and we need to use the for loop on this tr. So star ng for equal to let data of sorry, our variable name is list. So this will be over here. Then we are going to need the serial number, right? So we can get the index. So let SR is equal to index we have to store. Then whatever the columns we had, 5 columns we had, so 5 TDs we have to take. On first TD, we are going to display the serial number. Serial number by default will start with 0. So we just need to increment it with 1. Then we have TD. Now it will be data dot. It will be array of objects. So we just have to bind it. So let me just copy paste. Now name property. Then let's see what else we had. Mobile number. So always try to copy paste whatever the data you get so that you won't make mistake. Is working. So here if is working is true. So I'm going to display working or else not working, right? Then last thing was city. Let's show the gender also after mobile number. Gender we can show. This property will go over here. Right, so if you can see currently we have 4 records. So let's save all and check if we get the records. Now our URL was list. Enter. Yes, so you can see in the table, you can see 4 records are there. All the field where is working was working true. So that's why we have got this, right? So this is how we have completed a normal application. Now next thing is I need to deploy this on the GitHub pages. So for that, let me just get that command. Let's just go to a YouTube. I have already created just some days back a video. Let's go to my channel. Videos. Yeah, so this was a video where I have explained like how do we deploy the Angular app on the GitHub pages. So first thing we are going to need is we need to install this package. So let's copy. So if you know already, so you can skip and you can work whatever API I have provided. So you can create your application also. So first package I have to add, that is ng add Angular CLI pages. Then I need to push this all code also. Initial code, commit. Let me just push the code. Yeah, so I have pushed the code. Let's see. Copy. So this is a public URL. So you can see whatever the code I have pushed, you can see that over here. Now, so the package is installed. Okay, it is still installing. So let it install. Let's just close everything. So some commands we need normally. So let me just get that command. Yes, so package is successfully installed now. So once package is installed successfully, now we need to do some things like first, let me just go back to my repository. So in my repository, I have to go to the setting over there. Pages is there, right? So here I need to select main first and let's click on save. right? After that, we need to go to our project. We need to build the application using particular command. So that is nothing but this. But instead of Zomato, I placing my URL of repository name. So that will be this. Let's put it over here. Let's copy. Let's run it. So first we have to build the application. Once we build, a disk folder will be created over here about this src folder. Then we are going to push that disk folder to our GitHub pages. So one more command will be there. So let it just complete first. So this is just compiling and building application and putting that particular build publish folder into our disk folder. It will create a new folder. Since the project is very small, so it shouldn't take so much time. Based on the laptop speed and everything, it will take whatever the time it has to take. Let me just pause it. You can see once successful build is there, it will look like that, and this folder is created. Inside that dist, we have got the particular folder, and inside that we have got the build. Next command is we need to publish that, right? So for that, this is a command. So again, in this command, we need to specify the folder name, right? So we have created the project with the same repository name. So this will be command. Let's add it, enter. Now what it is doing, it is going to publish this particular folder, whatever the code we have. An error occurred. Okay, no such file. So just the capital small is there. Let me just rename this folder and let's copy and paste it again, because it is finding that particular folder. So in that folder name should be there proper. dir nothing but directory, right? So dist underscore this folder. So now you can see it has got the folder. So it is uploading by Git and it is saying please wait. So it is uploading to the Git. Let's just give it a time. Yeah. So successfully published by Angular GLS pages, right? Let's go and now let's reload. Right. So it is saying like it is visible there, but currently our main branch is selected. But if you select the drop down, you can see GS pages is there. Let's click on save. Now, one more time, we need to just deploy it just to make sure we have got the particular GH pages is again committed. Right. So just one more time, I'm doing it. Let's reload. So our site will be live on this particular page URL. So let's click on site. It will take some time to make the application live. Let's just wait. Okay, so you can see the same page is visible over here. Let's try to do the registration from live, right? So my application is live on this particular URL. Let's try Rahul, some demo number. Let's just put something else. Let's click on register. Yeah, registration is successful message we have got. Then we need to check the another component that is list. So let's just copy that, paste it over here, enter. Right. So whatever the record we have just created, that also got inserted successfully. So this was the whole cycle which I wanted to explain, like from creating database, then writing API and the Angular side and deployment also. So 4 things we have seen. So I hope this video was helpful to you. Please do like, share, and comment on my videos so that it will reach to the right person who are looking. That's it with the current video.